Hi everyone. I just want to start off by saying thank you for taking the time to listen to me talk about my project today. My content analysis project pretty much surrounded the topic of sexually explicit themes in female and male rap music of 2020. I do want to specify that I chose the year 2020 just because I feel like it was a very controversial year in terms of the music industry, especially in the rap genre, and a woman kind of producing and releasing a lot more vulgar and sexually explicit music, and the controversy that arose with it in headlines and in media and just in general. In 2020 it seemed to be kind of like a big year for female and male rap music. So I want to start off by explaining why this is important. Misogyny and the hypersexualization of women is ingrained in American music culture. You have probably heard of the phrase sex sells. In this sense, it's just attention grabbing and it's what people want to consume, whether it's for good reason or bad reason. And it's just what captures the audience's attention, and it's the type of content that tends to garner the biggest audience, whether it's intentional or not. But as we know it, sex sells. We see how it shapes subconscious beliefs. So, generally, the art and the music that people create and release and perform is a accumulation of social norms that are gathered into like this piece of artwork, and it exemplifies how society views certain social norms, and also exemplifies how consumers, as they consume this work, absorb these subconscious beliefs that are being shared to them. And then analyzing lyrics from the source provides a lens that provides a lens to how said norms and beliefs are taught to us. So the lyrics and the wording, just seeing how it's framed within the work and how the artist chooses to express those norms, um, is just another way to understand how they're being absorbed by the audience. So my research question is, how do sexually explicit themes emerge in female rap music versus male rap music in 2020? Because as we know, they're prevalent in both categories, but the way that they are expressed in each category is different, and I will get into that. So I define sexually explicit as actual or simulated sexual acts, including sexual intercourse, oral sex, or masturbation. I got this definition from Law Insider. My background on this work is that we know the most popular male and female rap artists of 2020. And I say that we know because we have access to the Billboard Top 100s list. And for those of you that may or may not know, the Billboard is a company that essentially, or an organization, I'm not really sure, that ranks the top artists, at least within the US, the top artists of every genre, both male and female, and the top songs that have been listened to within each genre, so that we can understand the music that has been most popular during the year, what's been the most consumed, and just kind of analyzing trends within music. But we don't know what their content entirely consists of. And what I mean by this is that we don't have their entire discography memorized. We don't have every lyric that they've ever written memorized. So we need to analyze and kind of dig into this content to understand what we're looking for. So it helps us understand the emergence of sexually explicit themes, and it emerges in two different ways. It's portrayed explicitly and portrayed subliminally. What I mean by portrayed explicitly, which I will also get into a little bit more later, is how it's way more in your face and obvious and overt that this music is sexual in its nature. Portrayed subliminally means it's just not as obvious. It's not the main topic of the music. It's very subtle and nuanced. And then we should also just expect women to be sexualized more than men, because that's just how it works. My interest in this comes as a consumer. I've been someone who's been listening to this music for quite a few years now, and have actually just recently found interest in more female rap music, and it's been interesting to see how I've absorbed the content that they are producing and releasing. As a woman, I know what it's like to be sexualized in almost every environment, whether it's what I'm wearing or what I'm doing or who I'm around. Doesn't matter. The environment can be in school, in a work environment, anywhere. But as a woman, it's pretty hard not to be sexualized by your peers. And as an intersectional feminist, this kind of just feeds into my interest on the cross section of gender identity with racial identity and how it is portrayed in the music and how society views these artists as a result of their identities. My initial findings were that women's music was simply more explicit and upfront, so that's what I meant by it's portrayed explicitly. Their music, their lyrics were just straight up about intercourse, about oral sex, about body parts, and just very much in your face about the sexual content that they wanted to include in their work. Male music, in this case, was more nuanced. There was a lot more use of slang. And I say this because I believe, like I said in the next bullet point, sexually explicit themes have been more normalized in male rap music, so that's why I believe it's more nuanced with more use of slang. I mean that in just that they don't need to be overt about it because it's been so prominent. It's not the one thing that sells their music anymore, and they don't really need that. Whereas women, I feel like, need to sell content that is sexual in nature as a means to getting more attention from an audience. So my methods were the content analysis of song lyrics. I had 20 songs, and my sampling method was purposive, so I had access and I knew to Google the Billboard Top 100s list and just look up the genre, look for the top 5 male rap artists, and look for the top 5 female rap artists. And I got 20 songs because I took the top 5 male, top 5 female, and then I took 2 songs each from them, and that's how I totaled 20 songs. The artists that I analyzed and their songs were Megan Thee Stallion, Doja Cat, G Nyko, Summer Walker, Cardi B, Juice WRLD, Roddy Ricch, The Weeknd, DaBaby, and Lil Baby. So these were the top 5 female artists of 2020. See, she's even posing in front of a Billboard Music Awards sign. And these are the top 5 male artists of 2020. So my first finding, I had 3 total findings. My first finding was the prevalence of sexually explicit content in female rap music and how it entirely outnumbered the coding. So I think you can see about 1, 2, 3 rows down. That is the only code where male artists outnumbered female artists in the sexually explicit themes. But even then, that's only a gap of like 5 points, whereas the first code has a much bigger gap, the last code has a bigger gap, the fourth code has an even bigger gap. So the women just totally outnumber the men in the sexually explicit content, and I think this just comes from the fact that they had more sexual content in their work. My second finding was the prevalence of objectification and possessiveness of women in male rap music. So I think this is why their music is less sexually explicit in nature, because it's already been established that they're kind of like the alpha males and they're at the top of the social hierarchy and the just gender hierarchy essentially. They don't need to be talking about sexual content all the time because it's already normalized and it's already prevalent in their community. So I used a song lyric to show an example of this from Juice WRLD in his song Bandit. He says, "Once I get a B word, I own her," which expresses claim over a woman. And then my last one was overarching themes. There were 2 main ones: reclaiming power and domination in female rap music. So the reason why I say reclaiming is because I think in today's day and age, you can kind of like frame the way that they sexualize themselves in two different ways. Um, with female rap music, basically their sexuality has been used as a product for a long time. Men have been consuming pornography, going to strip clubs, hiring sex workers, and the women are being paid to reveal their bodies, but at the end of the day, they're not getting that much compensation for it. So I think this is reclaiming and saying, you know what, if you're going to use my sexuality as a product and using my body as a currency, then, I'm just going to make money off of it and I'm going to profit off of what you want from me. And in the end, I win because we live in a capitalist society, is kind of what I think they're getting at. Some people do see this as a hindrance to feminism in the sense that it's like, you're kind of feeding into the hands of the patriarchy. Like at the end of the day, they're still sexualizing you, and they're still, you know, consuming your body, but you're not helping the case that women are kind of sexualized every day. So it can be viewed from two different lenses. And then the second overarching theme was maintaining power and domination in male rap music. So again, just it's already prevalent. They're just trying to reassert their dominance and reclaim that dominance, or not reclaim, but, kind of reminding everyone, I'm the alpha, I stand above you, putting myself up on a pedestal, and basically saying, you can't replace my spot. I used a quote from Cardi B's song Up to represent the first overarching theme, the reclaiming power and domination. Broke boys don't deserve no P word. I think this can be taken in several different ways. You have to be of a certain monetary status to have me reveal myself to you, or to just have a relationship with me. You have to be wealthy, or to conduct business with me. It could be so many different ways, but it shows that, if you want access to me, you got to have a certain amount of money. My last slide, my analysis highlights how sexualization of women has been normalized in male rap music. It magnifies the dramatization of hypersexualization in females in rap music and the controversy that comes with it. My conclusion is that sexually explicit content is seen in both categories. It's seen in both male and female rap music, but it's new for female rap artists, and it's a lot more prevalent in female rap music right now. Unfortunately, my sample size is too small, so I don't think that I gained an accurate perception of the whole rap music genre and the content that is within it. In the future, I would like to focus on the use of AAVE and, kind of insert more thought on racial identity and how this affects public perception of rap music. And essentially, just to close off, it seems like it's okay for men to objectify women, but if women do it to themselves, it's frowned upon. Thank you.